Sarvamangalam. Today we will go through the meaning of the Gāyatrī-Mantra word by word and in great detail. As you know, the Gayatri should not be uttered loudly or lightly, in the sense of without the proper initiation, the proper attitude, and the proper respect. In light of this tradition of respect, I shall not chant it with svara, with the intonation that is recorded in the Vedic texts. I shall only pronounce it for you. It goes like this. Om Bhu Bhuva Svah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. The very literal translation is Om, earth, space, absolute light. Let us meditate on that beloved radiance of the invigorating, luminous one who profoundly inspires our thoughts. One more time. Let us meditate on that beloved radiance of the invigorating, luminous one who profoundly inspires our thoughts. Who is this luminous one? There are two meanings. It is the outer sun, Surya, Savita, or the inner light of consciousness. Both meanings are correct and have been given in the commentaries. Om has so many meanings, up to 84 distinct meanings are given in the scriptures. Therefore, I shall only give you 3. The first and primordial meaning is absolute reality, Parabrahman, pure, absolute consciousness, awareness, jnana. The second meaning is the union of 4 states. Waking state, which is represented by A, the dream world, represented by U, the state of deep sleep, where there are no thoughts, no feelings, represented by the letter M, and then the transcendent state of absolute awareness, represented by the bindu, the vibration beyond which dissolves into absolute clarity, bliss, wisdom. And the third meaning of Om is the union of Brahma, the creating energy, Vishnu, the sustaining energy, Shiva, the dissolving energy, and Shakti, which is simply energy. Devi, the Divine Mother, who is the mother of both Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, all of them together. They flow forth from her, the supreme divine Shakti, and she incarnates, takes the form of their Shaktis. Brahma's Shakti is Saraswati, Vishnu's Shakti is Lakshmi, Shiva's Shakti is Uma. Beyond all things is Shakti herself, the absolute Jnana Shakti, Chitti Shakti, the Shakti of consciousness itself. Now, what are the meanings of the next three syllables? Bhu, Bhuva, Sva. These are called the Vyahritis, the utterances. And according to Manusmriti, these are simply code words for Om. A, U and M become Om. Moreover, each of these three, Bhu, Bhuva, Sva, represent one of the Vedas. The Bhu represents Rig Veda, the Bhuva represents Yajurveda, and the Sva represents Samaveda. This view goes back to the ancient Brahmana, Aranyaka and Upanishad texts. Thus, this is a very old view, not new. What does Bhu mean? Merely grammatically, it means earth. It comes from the root Bhu, which means to be. And thus Bhu means Bhavati Asmin, that in which one is. Therefore, sthana of you, your place, that wherein you are, is Bhu. Your own condition as a human, as the lady that you are, or the man that you are, or the child that you are. Your own life situation, your circumstance, whether it is a circumstance of suffering or one of evolved consciousness, such as that of a yogi, no problem. It is your circumstance, Bhu. And in yoga, this is represented by the lowest chakra, the chakra of the earth, Mula Adhara chakra. Now, the next syllable, Bhuva, derived from Bhuvas, which is an indeclinable. This means you cannot do anything with Bhuva. You cannot make it into some other word. It is also derived from the same root Bhu, but in a different sense. Here it means that within which one is. Not where one is, but within which one is. And means space, Akasha. Therefore, Bhuva is sometimes translated as the space in between the earth and the sky. Also called Antariksha, the space in between. And therefore, in yoga, Bhuva represents the space between the lowest chakra, the earth, and the uppermost chakra. All that is called bhuva. Then we have the word sva. Sva is also an indeclinable from svar, which means you can't do anything with that word, only sva can be used. And it is related to su, which means to be beautiful, to be excellent. Sva thus refers to absolute light, to the realm beyond, to the world of light, also called svarga, gone into sva, the world of light. Absolute space is another translation. And in yoga, sva refers to either the highest chakra or the transcendent state beyond chakras. So now you've understood Om, Bhu, Bhuva, Sva. We speak these initial syllables to show that we raise consciousness from its current state of limitations to space and then out into transcendence. And then we connect with the radiance of consciousness, the radiance of absolute awareness. An easier grammatical structure of the following words of Gayatri goes thus. Tat varenyam bharga savitur devasya dhimahi yahna dhiyah prachodayat. Let us meditate on that beloved radiance of the invigorating, luminous one who profoundly inspires our thoughts. Tat varenyam bharga, that beloved radiance. Tat is like the English word that. Do you see how close even English that is to Sanskrit tat? Amazing, isn't it? Now what is this invigorating, luminous one? Savitur devasya. Savitur means invigorating. It comes from savitu, which is the sixth case, genitive of savitri, savita. The sixth case is savitu. Savita is derived from the root su and has two basic meanings. It means to set in motion, to urge, to impel, to invigorate. Beings, not just anyone, beings, you, pranis, those who breathe are called pranis. This is the first meaning. The second meaning is to procreate, to bring forth beings. And thus, the word savita can be interpreted to mean the sun in its quality of invigorating beings and urging them to awaken to life in the morning. So, every mother who tries to awaken her child in the morning to go to school is Savitri, and every father who awakens his son in the morning by shaking him and saying, "Get up now, please," is also Savita. The sun of our consciousness is also Savita, because when we connect with our innermost consciousness, our innermost awareness, it awakens us. We become Buddha, awakened through that. And even just by starting a little meditation, just connecting to the inner light, perhaps by visualizing light here, the light of the sun, and then letting it grow, become more and more luminous, our mind is invigorated. Even more than when we have a cup of coffee. Really, try it. Moreover, this sun has a radiance. It is not just some dull light. It is Varenyam Bharga. Varenyam means the choicest, the most excellent, the cherished, the beloved. It is the second or accusative case of Varenya, which comes from the root Vri, and which has the following meanings. Vriya means to choose, to prefer, to love, to cherish. And Varenya, therefore, is something that is chosen, something that is preferred the most, something that is loved the most, something that is cherished the most. So those of you who are now in love with a beautiful lady, tell her, "You are my Varenya." Or those ladies among you who are in love with a beautiful nobleman, tell him, "You are my Varenya." And it is for this reason that in Sanskrit-based languages like Hindi, Gujarati, the groom, the bridegroom is also called Vara. Yes, the same word, like Varenya. This word, Varenya, is even related to the English word voluntary, that which is freely chosen. And to German, wollen, those of you who know German. The range of meanings are amazing. It means to choose for oneself something, to choose in marriage, to ask a person on behalf of someone else, to solicit anything from someone, to request, to like something better than something else, to prefer something, as I mentioned, to love something, to choose or pick out someone for a boon. That is why Varadana means to give a boon, Vara again. So, when absolute consciousness, the divinity, is pleased with your meditation, it is said in our scriptures that it gives you a boon. It chooses you for a boon. But in order for that to happen, you first have to choose consciousness. That is why we say Varenyam Bharga, the choicest radiance, that radiance which we choose, that which we love. Upon that we meditate. Please see the beautiful, beautiful meanings. And finally, it also means to choose as a spouse. So in some sense, the verse means you're choosing the beloved radiance of consciousness as your spouse. You love it so much that you marry it, so to speak. Wonderful, isn't it? Amarasimha, the great author of the Amarakosha, a dictionary, after whom I have named our son Amar, explains that Varenya is one of the 17 words that have the sense of the most excellent, Shreshta, or anything that is preeminent, Pradhana. Anything that is preeminent or most excellent is called Varenya. Do you understand now? Now what about the radiance, Bharga? It is also, of course, the second case or accusative case. In this case of the word Bhargas. And Bhargas is neuter, derived from the root bridge. And this root is amazing. It means to roast, to fry, to parch, to scorch, and to burn up. Thus, Bharga is a radiance that burns up everything that is negative. Brijyate kamadi anena iti Bharga. In the masculine sense. He by whom negative emotions such as obsessive desire are burned up, are scorched, is called Bharga. And in the neuter, it simply means the radiance that burns up, that scorches. Isn't it amazing? The depth of it. Yes. That when you connect with the luminosity of consciousness in yourself, your true nature, consciousness begins to burn up all negative things in you. All your impurities, all your negativity, all your obsessive desire, all your irritation and anger, all your greed, only wanting things for yourself, all your pride, thinking you are better than others, all your envy, wanting the things of others, or wanting to be like others, feeling inferior to others, and all the innumerable negative emotions that burst forth from these five. The last one being selfishness, confusion, which actually is also the first one. All these are burnt up, scorched by the radiance of consciousness. If only you connect with consciousness. Like you connect with the sun in the morning, the invigorating sun, the invigorating consciousness, right here. Or in your heart, like this. Now, we also said the invigorating, luminous one. The beloved radiance of the invigorating, luminous one, we said. What is the luminous one? Devasya. Now in modern Hindi or Gujarati or Tamil, the word Deva means God. But in Sanskrit, it just means the luminous one. And not only that, it has 10 other meanings. It is, of course, the genitive case here, like Savituh, the invigorating. And it comes from the root div, which has 10 basic meanings. The first is krida, to play. Thus, Deva then means the playful one. It doesn't mean luminous first. It means the playful one. A Deva or a Devi is playful. In his or her creativity, the inner freedom to move at will, Swachanda, for example, as a Kechara or a Kechari, someone moving through space in complete freedom. This meaning of Deva also refers to the playful way in which the Deva of absolute awareness, the all-creating king, gives rise to the infinite display of samsara, merely in the form of a playful effulgence, an outward radiance in the mirror of his own nature. A playful lila emerges in the darpana or mirror of our true nature. And this playful display is this whole world, whatever you are experiencing right now, including my words. Then, the second meaning of Deva is Vijigisha, to seek to triumph over. In this sense, Deva means one who seeks to triumph over. Over what? Over darkness. Over the slumber we are in at night. Because the sun rises, seems to rise in the morning, and overcomes the darkness. Similarly, the Devas, the divine beings, seek to overcome the forces of darkness, the asuras. And similarly, the inner Deva of awareness overcomes the negative emotions and the negative states, as I have mentioned before. The third meaning of Deva is Vyavahara, how to conduct oneself. In this sense, Deva is one who knows the right auspicious conduct and teaches it to others. A guru is Deva. That is why we say Guru Deva. Then, the fourth meaning of Deva is duty, to shine. This is the one I have chosen. To shine, to be luminous, and to illuminate. In this sense, Deva means the luminous one, the one who illuminates the moving and the unmoving world. The inner states and the outer states are all illumined by consciousness. Without consciousness, you wouldn't know what you're hearing right now. This is the sense that most traditional commentators adopt in the commentaries on the Upanishads. It is also one of the primary senses used in the Upanishads, where the mind is a Deva, and where also the five senses are Devas, because they illuminate the world of objects. Without the sense of sight, Chakshu, I wouldn't see you in the camera. Without the sense of hearing, Shrotra, you wouldn't hear what I'm saying. Yes? Then, the fifth meaning of the word Deva is stuti, to praise, to adore. And in this sense, Deva is someone who is worthy of praise or adoration. So, again, if you feel that your husband is worthy of praise or adoration, you can call him Deva. And if you feel that your wife or your beloved is worthy of praise or adoration, you can call her Devi. Then the sixth meaning of the root, div, which becomes Deva, is moda, to delight, to be blissful, to be joyfully appreciative. In this sense, Deva is someone who is full of bliss and grants bliss to others. Or one who is full of delight and appreciation for the good qualities in others, one who practices mudita, the state of appreciating the virtues of others. Such a person is called Deva or Devi. Amazing, isn't it? Then, the seventh meaning of the root Div is mother, to be proud. There are Devas, shining beings in higher worlds than ours, who, although they are great, although they have amazing talents, have not yet attained liberation and enlightenment. These Devas are said to be those beings who have subtle pride in them. Whereas the Asuras, who are lower than humans, are said to be very powerful, but to have envy. They are always envious. So some of the scriptures say that the Asuras are the envious gods. They call them gods, but envious gods. Whereas the Devas are the proud gods. And we humans are in between. And some humans who have lots of talents and qualities become like the Devas, but they are proud. And some humans who are full of anger, full of irritation, but who are very powerful, become like the Asuras, always jealous of others, always envious of others. So be careful. What type are you? Are you more like a Deva, who is full of splendor, full of qualities, but maybe a little proud, like a Sanskrit scholar? Or are you more like an Asura, who is always irritated, always angry, always envious of others, always jealous of someone? Please watch your mind. Which type are you? Because of this subtle pride, the scriptures state that those Devas die and are reborn like all other beings. They once again will see the womb of a new mother. This is why it is said in the scriptures that even an Indra, even a Brahma, even a Vishnu can and will be reborn as an ant, a small ant, if they do not strive for enlightenment, for bodhi, to be like Buddha and realize their true nature. This may come as a shock to some of you. Why is Brahma reborn as an ant? Why is even Vishnu reborn as an ant if he does not become enlightened? Please trust me, this is clearly stated in the scriptures. Just to be a god, a Deva, is not good enough. You have to become a Buddha, enlightened, to become free of rebirth. Yes? So therefore strive for enlightenment. Then, the eighth meaning of the root Div is svapna, to dream, to sleep. In this sense, Deva is one who causes beings to dream or to fall asleep. Or Deva is then one who dreams. In the first sense, one who causes beings to fall asleep in the unmanifest state of things when the world ends, is Deva. Like Brahma, the creator, brings the world into being, there is also a being who causes the world and all beings to fall asleep when a world cycle ends. And that is Shiva. And then Brahma once again brings beings forth from that sleep. And then once again beings come into existence. And this process of expanding a universe and dissolving a universe is endless in our scriptures. It is an infinite process. Srishti, creation, pralaya, dissolution. And only those beings who have not attained liberation and enlightenment are reawakened in the next cycle of existence. Therefore, please, let us all strive for liberation. Because otherwise, our subtle karmas, cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, effect, and our subtle impressions in our subtle mind are going to cause us not only to be reborn in the next life, even into the next creation. Wow! If we don't become enlightened like Buddha, we will come into being again in the next creation. This is what the scriptures state. Incredible, isn't it? In the sense of dreaming, Deva is the mind itself, as I said, which causes our consciousness to fall into a kind of hypnotic slumber or dream of this entire world of samsara. Because this experience of samsara is happening like in a dream. It is not really happening, it is more like in a dream. Moreover, even in our actual dreaming at night, it is our mind that is giving rise to the dream experience. Has this ever occurred to you? When you're dreaming, it's only your mind producing your dreams. There is no actual enemy who is hunting you. The boss you don't like, who appears in your dream, is just your own mind appearing. Has that occurred to you? Similarly, our scriptures state that even an enemy you have in your life is actually your own mind appearing to you. Therefore, generate love even for that enemy. Of course, protect yourself, but in your heart, generate compassion and love for them. And now, the scriptures say, and this is also what my guru taught me, and it is what I have experienced also, that you can learn to dream lucidly, to be aware while you're dreaming. And then you know in your dream, I'm dreaming. But the dream doesn't end. And you can then dream lucidly the whole night. You can create new dreams. They don't just happen to you, you can generate them. And my dearly beloved children, you of all people know that one can fly in dreams, isn't it? When you learn to dream lucidly, you can fly all the time in your dreams. Would you like to learn it? The 9th meaning of Deva means to be lovely. In this sense, Deva means one who is lovely. Once again, if you want to tell your beloved that she is lovely, just tell her you are Devi. If you want to tell your husband or your boyfriend that he is lovely, tell him you are Deva. In this sense, it can also mean one whose desires, karma, always turn out to be true. When you are a real meditator and you concentrate on a desire, very often it becomes true. This is called Satyakama, one whose desires become true. That is why meditators should be very careful about what they desire. This is not always the case, but very often. You just wish that someone should call you or write you, and then they suddenly do. Or you wish for something beautiful, and it really happens. So be careful what you wish when you learn to meditate. It is really amazing what consciousness can do. The last meaning of div, which becomes deva, is gati, to move. And in a secondary understanding, in a secondary meaning, understanding. In this sense, deva is one who moves through all states of experience. In all things, in all moments of experience, there is consciousness. Awareness underlying that experience. Without awareness, without consciousness, you wouldn't have the experience. Therefore, consciousness is present throughout all the experiences. Thus, in this sense, it refers to the all-pervasive, all-pervading presence or space of consciousness, within which all moments of experience occur, moment to moment. They're always occurring within mind, within consciousness. And you can become aware of this. And in the sense of understanding, deva simply means one who should be truly understood. You should really make an effort to understand consciousness, to understand awareness, to understand the nature of mind. Now, we've covered the 10 meanings of the word deva. We now come to the third, almost the third part. We meditate upon the beloved radiance of the invigorating deva. Dhimahi is the meaning of to meditate in Sanskrit. We meditate. Dhimahi. It comes from the root dhyay, like dhyana. And dhyay means to contemplate, to meditate, to pay attention. I hope you are still paying attention to my explanation. It is the optative case, also called vidhiling, and means let us meditate. Not we are meditating. It means let us meditate. It is an encouragement for you. Let us do it. Come on. Chalo. Let us meditate. Dhyana has several definitions in the scriptures, but one of the best ones is found in the Yoga Sutra, the 3rd chapter, Sutras 1 and 2. Desha bandhash chittasya dharana, fastening the mind to a single place, is called holding attention. Tatra pratyaya ekatanata dhyanam. And a single stream of cognizing, of being aware, directed towards that spot or that place, is then called meditation. Quite simple, really. Fastening the mind to a single place is called holding attention. And then a single stream, like oil from one vessel to another, or like a beautiful mountain river that is just flowing. A single stream of being aware direct it towards that spot, or towards that place, or towards that content, or towards that object, is called meditation. So you need to learn to place your attention and then continuously let it flow towards that place. Quite simple, really. But it needs practice. Thus, the Gāyatrī-Mantra is a call to learn meditation by concentrating our mind on the radiance of the invigorating outer sun or the inner sun of consciousness. And when we do that, what happens? Tat savitur varinyam bhargo devasya dhimahi. When we really meditate on the light of consciousness, and when our attention flows uninterruptedly, like a single stream, uninterrupted attention awareness towards the radiance or the light of consciousness, which is like the sun and can be visualized here, becoming more and more luminous, moment to moment, more and more luminous, more and more luminous, more and more luminous. What happens? Dhiyo yo na prachodayat. He who inspires our thoughts. Then that very light, that very luminous one, that consciousness, then inspires you. Dhiyo is dhiya, the plural of dhi, which is a feminine noun from the root dhye once more. Dhi simply has many meanings. It can mean thought. It can mean virtuous thought. A thought or an intelligence concerning dharma, truth, the path to enlightenment. It can mean wisdom. It can mean complete awareness, samvit, chit. It can mean medha, the intelligence that has the capacity to sustain our insight. It can mean preksha, observational awareness, intelligence and insight that comes about through observing. If you don't observe things, how can you learn? It can also simply mean perception or understanding, upalabdhi. According to the language philosopher Rudra, this was a person who lived in ancient India, dhi has 8 expressions. These are called the eightfold dynamic, the eightfold capacity of dhi. And they are expressed in 8 steps. The first is shushrusha. Dhi takes on the form of the desire to learn something. Intelligence, real intelligence, first expresses itself when you want to learn something. Then, the second stage is that you actually learn. This is called shravana. Then intelligence, dhi, takes on the third form, which is grahana, to comprehend, what you're learning. It is one thing to learn, and it is one thing to actually comprehend it. The fourth stage is called dharana, which is to retain and integrate what you comprehend. It doesn't help you to learn a lot and to comprehend a lot if you don't actually retain it in your mind and in your heart, actually integrating it. The fifth stage of dhi is called uha, deliberating critically upon what you have comprehended. Critically, not blindly accepting anything, but actually critically deliberating, critically considering it. And then the sixth stage is called apoha, which means to completely resolve all the aspects you have now critically looked at and to become free of doubt about it. So, once you've critically looked at it, you need to also resolve it. Don't stay with the criticalness. Then you're just always critical. Then you're always doubting everything and you never come to a conclusion. So, true intelligence, true dhi, means not only to critically look at something, but also to resolve your doubts. And if your conclusion is that it is nonsense, it is real intelligence to reject it, really. This is what our scriptures say, that only the statement that you have critically assessed and really resolved truly with intelligence should be accepted. No other statement, even if Brahma said it, even if the Guru of the gods said it, don't bother. If your intelligence, after critically deliberating upon it, does not come to a conclusion where you accept it, don't worry. You are still on the path of dharma, even if it means that you become an atheist. Our dharma tradition accepts that. If that is your personal deep conclusion, you are still on the path of dharma. Really you are. But make sure to really, really critically assess the truth. Moreover, this phase of then resolving your doubts is only the sixth form of intelligence. The seventh form is called vijnana, to deeply realize what you have learned, what you have comprehended, what you have retained, what you have critically deliberated, what you have become doubtless about. You then deeply realize it in a deep state of nididhyasana, meditation. And then the last form of dhi is called tattvajnana, the awareness of truth, the knowledge of truth, the knowledge of tattva, the state of things as they are, which is also called tathata, the state of things as they are, the state of yourself as you are, and the state of other things as they are, and the state of that which you've learnt as it is, and not as your limited understanding tells you it is. These are the 8 stages of dhi. And the Gāyatrī-Mantra says that by meditating on the beloved radiance of consciousness as the inner sun, your dhi is inspired. That means you are pushed onto the path of learning, comprehending, retaining, integrating, critically deliberating, but also resolving your criticism, your criticality, then deeply immersing yourself in insight and realization in meditation, and finally realizing truth itself. The Gāyatrī-Mantra is thus a prayer to inspire spiritual practitioners to seek knowledge, to learn, to comprehend, to retain and integrate what has been comprehended, to deliberate critically, to comprehend, but then to completely resolve all aspects that have been deliberated critically, then to attain the deepest insight, and finally to accomplish the awareness of truth, to realize the nature of things as they truly are. The last third of the Gāyatrī-Mantra, Dhiyo yo nah prachodayat. Yo is from Yah. It means he who. It is the relative pronoun. Like in English, he who meditates is always happy. Sat sada sukhi yo dhyayati. And Yah refers to Devasya, the invigorating, luminous one, consciousness. Nah is the sixth or genitive case. It is the plural of asmat, and it means our. Our what? Our thee, as we discussed. The last word is prachodayat. It is the optative or benedictive case, vidhi or ashirling, of the root chud with the prefix pra. The root chud means to inspire, to goad, to encourage. To goad also, like someone who is goading the goats, but also to inspire, to encourage. And the prefix pra has the sense of prakarsha, high intensity, definitely, absolutely, profoundly. So not just inspiring a little bit and then leaving it, but profoundly inspiring our intelligence, our dhī, profoundly inspiring us on the path. By connecting with the light of consciousness, we are profoundly inspired, deeply inspired. Our own intuition begins to flow. All those who meditate know that this is true. When we meditate on consciousness, on the light, on the inner sun, our intuition grows. We begin to clairvoyantly know things about the future, or sometimes about others intuitively, about what might happen, about ourselves. This is called pratibham jnana in the scriptures. The great commentator Sāyaṇā says that prachodayat means prerayet. May he profoundly inspire us, our dhī. Other scholars like Akhandananda, a great scholar, take it to mean simply he who by his very nature inspires us, in an absolute sense. So Akhandanandaji says prachodayat does not mean may consciousness inspire us. It means consciousness always inspires us, if only we connect with it. He says that the very nature of the sun of awareness is that it contains within itself the quality of awakening us, of inspiring us towards freedom. Beautiful interpretation. Thus, in this sense, the Gāyatrī-Mantra hints at the liberative quality of absolute awareness. When our deluded mind gently directs itself towards its own true nature, the sun of awareness, in meditation, then the liberative quality of awareness becomes active and begins to inspire the mind towards virtuous engagements, intelligence, the eightfold process of Dhi, which culminates in Tattva Jnana, the realization of reality. There are deeper meanings, deeper explanations, which we could cover in another recording. For example, give you one little hint. The three utterances, the Vyahritis, Bhu, Bhuva, Sva, are already also explained in the Vedic texts, in their deeper meanings. So we could also go into those meanings, but we don't have the time for that, my beloved friends, because you need to go to work. Therefore, maybe one day we can create another video where we explain those deeper meanings. Yes? But you should also request that from me, because I don't know, are you really watching these videos? Are you benefiting from them? If one of you requests a deeper explanation of Om, of Bhu, Bhuva and Sva, I would gladly do so for your benefit. Thank you. Please meditate on the meaning of the Gāyatrī-Mantra. Connect with the light of absolute consciousness in you and be ever blissful and blessed. Sarva Mangala.